You start.
I'm Rebecca Luker.
And I'm Deborah Grace Weiner. And we're bringing a show about the Gershwin brothers on March 24th, 7 to 9:30, to 54 Below as part of the Classic American Songbook series.
Now, the American Songbook, do you think that the newer generation is learning it, and do you think that it will continue to be sought after?
Oh, yes.
Oh, absolutely. I think the big problem is the word American Songbook. I think that if you say American Songbook, to most people they go, what? But if you go, if you talk about the great standards and you talk about, hey, what is Ella Fitzgerald singing that you might have heard, or what is John Pizzarelli singing, or Michael Bublé, or Sinatra, or Tony Bennett,
They're all doing it, yeah.
then everybody knows those songs. And when people hear those songs, they're like, oh, that's so cool. What's that?
And I do happen to know I do a lot of master classes with a lot of young people all over the country, and they are all crazy about this era. Between the 20s and the 50s, 60s, the classic American Songbook songs are very much still alive with the younger generation, yeah.
Right, and I mean, remember that, and then they're all on TV and commercials, they're used in movies, and remember that Gatorade commercial, did you see that Gatorade commercial from a couple of years ago about all these football players with like sweat flying off them, and it's for Gatorade, and one say, you say crazy, it's like this hip hop track behind it, and one guy goes, you say crazy, I say crafted, you say static, I say whatever. It's like, let's run that whole thing back. And so speaking of Gershwin, so it's I think it's very much in our culture, and I think it's just a question of people hearing things, and it's all good.
So your next show is based on the Gershwins.
That's correct.
And it's a question for both of you, but separate answers. What is your favorite Gershwin song?
Oh my goodness, that's finding a needle in a haystack.
That is such a hard question.
Do you have one?
I think what is the meaning of life is an easier question than what's your favorite Gershwin song.
Well, the one I'm singing today is one of my favorites, "The Man I Love." I've been singing it for 30-something years, and it has those quintessential Gershwin chords in it, and it's, a perfect marriage of lyrics and music. It is one of my favorites, yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most underrated Gershwin song?
That's a great question.
It's probably something that's obscure that not a lot of people know. Underrated.
That's such a good question. I'm stumped.
I am too. I'm trying to think of all their shows. There's so many, and so many songs that people don't know. Nashville Nightingale.
Nashville Nightingale is
a
great underrated.
That's just George Gershwin.
I know, but you know what? But that's a great underrated. I would say that's a great underrated.
It's not very song. You wrote it with Irving Caesar, but way back
when. That's okay. That counts.
It does count.
There's so many, and it's a good one.
Yeah,
a good one.
What composers in the Great American Songbook haven't been heard as much that you would like to see more of?
In the greats of the Great American Songbook, or somebody that's not, because I can't think of anybody that's not that famous.
I think that maybe the question is what people whose songs are great, don't we know who they are? We don't know who they are. Carolyn Lee is one of them, wrote some of the greatest songs like Witchcraft and It Amazes Me and The Best Is Yet to Come. Burton Lane, who wrote On a Clear Day, and songs like I Like New York in June, and
very good. They're
all
not
sorts of things. They're not. His name is not known, but Burton Lane has to be one of the great melodists after Richard Rodgers.
And Carolyn Lee. Oh my Lord.
Yeah,
she has an amazing
voice. I think she's maybe the most underrated writer in the Great American Songbook, because her songs are hugely famous and superb and nuanced and brilliant, and nobody knows her name.
And then the great lyricists, Dorothy Fields.
Dorothy Fields. And
she's, we know who she is, obviously.
Right.
But maybe not so much in the public, zeitgeist.
I'm asking so that my readers can go look them up.
Yeah. Dorothy Fields. Look up her songs. She wrote a lot with Jerome Kern and so many people. Brilliant.
Right. She was the mothership of women songwriters.
Oh boy.
Now, who else is in the show?
in this Gershwin show is, besides Miss Luker, can you think of anything nicer than doing a show with Rebecca
No,
Luker?
I think she's the perfect.
She's
connoisseur.
perfect everything. George Dvorsky, and you guys are old friends.
He's a dear friend of mine.
And the great Clea Blackhurst and Nicholas King. John Otto is the music director, and Mark Waldrop is the stage director.
And when is it playing at Feinstein's 54 Below?
It is playing at Feinstein's Sunday, March 24th, 7 o'clock and 9:30.
You have two chances.
Two chances.